What if I told you that the biggest obstacle standing between you and the life you want isn't your circumstances? It's not your job, your relationships, or your bank account. It's the way you think. Right now, today, there are thinking patterns running quietly in the background of your mind, shaping every decision you make, every emotion you feel, every opportunity you miss. And the terrifying part? Most people go their entire lives without ever noticing them. Psychologists call them cognitive distortions. I call them thinking traps. And today, we're breaking down the 5 most dangerous ones, because you cannot escape a trap you don't know you're in. Before we dive in, I want you to do something. As I go through each trap, don't just nod along thinking, yeah, some people do that. Ask yourself, honestly, do I do this? Because awareness is the only key that opens these cages. Trap number 1, all or nothing thinking. It sounds exactly like this. I missed one workout, so I've completely ruined my progress. I said something awkward at that meeting. They probably think I'm an idiot. I failed once, so I'm just not someone who succeeds. All or nothing thinking is the mind's lazy shortcut. Instead of holding the messy, complicated truth that most things exist on a spectrum, it snaps everything into 2 extreme categories: perfect or worthless, success or failure, with me or against me. And here's why it's so dangerous. It makes quitting feel logical. If one bad day means the whole week is ruined, why try? If one mistake makes you a failure, why continue? This trap doesn't just distort reality, it actively destroys momentum. The fix? Start catching the words never and always in your own thoughts. I always mess this up. Do you? Always? Every single time, without exception? Probably not. Reality is almost always somewhere in between, and that middle ground is where actual growth lives. Trap number 2, mind reading. Here's a scenario. You send a message to someone, they don't reply for a few hours, and your brain immediately starts producing a full documentary. They're ignoring me. They're upset with me. They probably think I'm annoying. But here's the thing. You don't actually know any of that. They might be busy. They might have forgotten. Their phone might be dead. But your brain, trying to protect you, fills in the silence with its worst fears, then presents those fears as facts. Mind reading is when we convince ourselves we know what others are thinking, and we almost always assume the worst. And the cruel irony is, the more insecure we feel, the more confidently our brain makes these fake predictions. This trap wrecks relationships. It makes you distant when you should be open, defensive when you should be curious, and silent when you should just ask. The antidote is radical simplicity. When you catch yourself assuming what someone thinks, replace the assumption with a question, not in your head, an actual question. Clarity is always kinder than assumption. Trap number 3, catastrophizing. Your boss asks to speak with you. Immediate thought, I'm getting fired. You feel a weird pain in your chest. Immediate thought, something is seriously wrong with me. Your partner seems quiet tonight. Immediate thought, this is the beginning of the end. Catastrophizing is the brain's disaster movie, always imagining the absolute worst-case scenario as if it's the most likely outcome. And the human brain, wired for survival, is shockingly good at this. It's why we survived predators for thousands of years, but in modern life, it's mostly just exhausting. The problem isn't that your brain generates worst-case scenarios. The problem is when you believe them without questioning them. Here's a powerful question to break this trap. What's the most likely outcome, not the worst? Most of the time, the most likely outcome is far more manageable than the nightmare your mind just constructed. And even if the worst does happen, ask yourself, have I survived hard things before? You have. You will again. Trap number 4, emotional reasoning. This one is subtle, and it might be the most widespread trap of all. Emotional reasoning is when you take how you feel and treat it as evidence of how things are. I feel like a failure, so I must be one. I feel like nobody likes me, so they probably don't. I feel overwhelmed, so this situation must be impossible. Feelings are real. I want to be clear about that. Your emotions are valid signals, but they are not facts. Feeling stupid doesn't make you stupid. Feeling unloved doesn't mean you are unloved. Feeling hopeless doesn't mean the situation is hopeless. When we reason from emotion alone, we hand our feelings the wheel, and feelings make terrible drivers. They're impulsive, reactive, and heavily influenced by whether you slept well and ate breakfast. The practice here is learning to say, I feel this way, and that feeling doesn't automatically mean it's true. Create just a sliver of space between the feeling and the conclusion. That space is where wisdom lives. Trap number 5, personalization. Someone's in a bad mood, and you immediately assume it's about you. A project fails, and even though 5 people were involved, you carry the weight as if it was entirely your fault. A friend cancels plans, and your brain whispers, you did something wrong. Personalization is taking responsibility for things that either are not your fault or not yours alone. It's wearing the world's problems like a coat that was never made for you. And the strange flip side? Some people do the opposite. They personalize by blaming everyone else for their own problems. Both are forms of distorted thinking that disconnect you from reality. The grounding question for this trap is, what actually caused this, and what portion, if any, was genuinely mine? Not more, not less, just the honest, proportionate truth. So, there they are, 5 traps: all or nothing thinking, mind reading, catastrophizing, emotional reasoning, and personalization. None of them make you broken. They make you human. Every single person you admire, every high performer, every calm and grounded person you've ever met, they deal with these too. The difference is they've learned to notice them. And noticing is everything. You can't think your way out of a trap in real time if you don't even know you're in one. But the moment you see it, really see it, it loses its grip. So this week, I want to give you one simple challenge. Catch yourself, just once. Notice a thought, pause, and ask, is this actually true or is this a trap? That one moment of awareness could change everything. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it, and I'll see you in the next one.